I can't believe I could be sitting in the top of World Cup. Imagine me not making it to the finals, like picturing that. And now I gotta go race. And I was stressing, man. That was crazy.
I think I said the saying the other day. It's not the sword, it's the samurai, and today is a prime example of that.
Well, I like had a okay run in Q1, but just didn't go fast enough, and like a lot of people like went really fast. So that kind of put me into 23rd, I think, and I missed the cut, which made me pretty angry, to be honest.
I'm Nathan Carr, and I'm sparring for Troy Brosnan this next couple of seasons.
So I want to talk to you about the bike setup before and after the race, basically. So before the bike has even done a run on the hill, what are your base settings? What are your tire pressures? What are your suspension settings, geometry, things like that?
Yeah, we run neutral headset on Troy's bike, so smack bang in the middle. The new Sender's got plenty of range. We can change the wheelbase, we can change the front center, we can change progression settings on the rear shock. Troy runs the high BB. It runs a progressive setting on the shock, and I doubt that'll change at all. Again, just based on our winter, we don't play too much with it. We've got a real good base that we're happy with.
And tire pressures?
21, 23 most places, but again, it gets dictated by the track as that beds in. So that's what we'll start on, and then yeah, we'll take it from there really. Yeah, we've done loads of work this winter. I spent a fair bit of time in Oz. Troy's been over in Europe a bit, and yeah, we've worked real hard with RockShox, and we've got some real good just baseline settings that we've tried out now in like a various weather conditions, track conditions, steepnesses of hills. So it's quite a neutral setup. It's something that we can just go to any race and have a real good baseline. We did some testing out in San Remo and the other week, and nothing changed too much for there. So yeah, so we're going to go there. We know exactly where we're going to be. We've worked hard with RockShox, so we're in the middle of all our settings. We're in the middle of our compression, in the middle of our rebound, so it gives us a good range right from the beginning. And then having the RockShox boys on hand, anything we need that's track specific, we can just get tuned real quick, real easy.
What are the challenges of setting up a bike on a track that hasn't been ridden since last year?
I wouldn't say the setup is the be all and end all. It's just how that track rides in. If it's had a winter worth of weather on it, that track's going to be very, very different from track walk to finals. It's going to be like two different tracks altogether. So I think the key is not to panic too quickly. You can stress and spend a lot of time trying to set that bike up from track walk, and ultimately it's not the track you're racing on. So I'd probably say you just got to chill out, let the track develop, and then that will guide you how your settings sort of end up. So yeah, I think the key is you don't panic and don't rush into anything too soon.
Yeah, so how much do you think the track will change? You kind of touched on it, but between now and Sunday, it's going to get rougher, it's going to get faster,
yeah,
it might get wetter,
oh, yeah,
and it'll be riding quicker.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
How do you account for all that and put it into bike setup?
You just got to let it play out and see what happens with that track. For sure it's going to get faster, for sure it's going to get rougher. These things don't change every race, that always happens. But it'll definitely be more so with a track that hasn't been ridden versus somewhere with a bike park, it gets ridden by thousands of people a week. So yeah, it'll definitely change a lot. But in terms of setup, you can't have too rigid of a plan. We're going to do X, Y, and Z, because we just don't know yet. And then again, with the weather, that can completely steer us off course. So I think line choice and your rider's ability to just change with that, it probably has more of a benefit than your bike setup, to be honest.
So I just want to talk to you before you go ride your bike for the first time.
Yeah.
So the bike in the stand now is pretty much how you're going to ride it. So talk about tire pressure, suspension pressure setup, and geometry. how it is now?
Yeah, so right now we're pretty much 63-degree head angle, chainstay length. I won't give you exact digits, but it's about 10 to 15 mil longer than a stock would be. We are on anywhere between a 2.4 and a 2.6 tyre. I'm currently on 2.6 after Fort William. They run at around 27 psi in the rear and 24 in the front, and I've normally got a window of around 3 psi that I'm willing to kind of experiment with, depending on the track and track conditions, dirt conditions. 155mm cranks. I have raced last year on as short as 140s. So if there's no pedaling to be done, unfortunately there is pedaling here, especially at the start. This time it'd be lost and made. So I could change crank length. That is an option that we have. And stem height for me, stack height on the front end can change a lot. At the moment I'm 113 centimetres from ground level up to centre of handlebar, and that can increase with crank length changing and also the rear end length changing as well. So I basically have any adjustability I'd like, really. We can change the gearing, obviously ratios as well for depending on the track. But at the moment I'm on a setup that I've been on for pretty much the last 2 months. So yeah, that's about it. Suspension 265 in the shock, I think, 130 in the lower chamber on the forks, and about 60 in the upper chamber. Compression, clicks and rebounds pretty central at the moment, to be honest. The main change for me is I've always been bad in the past for setting up a bike a little bit too soft. Initially your first laps you're going quite slow because you don't know where you're going and you're trying to learn the track. And then me, it's always been behind the 8 ball, so I come to a qualifying run or a race run, and my instinct when I cross the line is, my bike was way too soft. Like, I have to get forward into the stiffer bike setup sooner in the week, and kind of, force myself to ride faster by making the bike stiffer and harder. So that's something I kind of want to focus on this week, but undoubtedly, I think most people start on a slightly softer setup, and then we'll go up by anywhere between 5 and 15 PSI on your spring rate, and probably close things off maybe 2-3 clicks, depending on the track, and depending on the conditions, of course. If it rains, that can all change and go out the window as well. So yeah, dry setup, things will increase, and a wet setup, which is looking like it could be wet this weekend. Normally I just change tyre pressures. I like to drop the tyre pressure by 2-3 psi and leave the suspension, because the added mud creates a heavier bike anyway, so you need a little bit stiffer suspension for it to be as balanced as it was in the dry. So I don't really like to touch the chassis as such, and just balance the bike with tyre pressure. So we'll see what the weather gives us, but yeah, this bike's been super well rounded at every track I've been to. I've been so impressed at how good this bike feels on every track with these base settings. So yeah, we could stay exactly where we are, or we could wander way down the rabbit hole, who knows.
So regardless, it's going to change because it's going to be wet, right?
It's looking like it's pretty much non-stop rain from tomorrow till Sunday, and Sunday being some of the heaviest rain. So the track here is quite rocky based. It's got a lot of route. It's actually really similar to home. If you cut all the trees down at Innerleithen at home, it'd be pretty much this place. So I'm pretty comfortable with what to expect. I don't think it'll get too rutty, but I don't really mind ruts anyway. So it's going to be tyre pressure and tyre tread, I'd say, are going to be the #1 changes. If the temperature really drops and gets super cold, then that can affect suspension, so we might open things up. Change brake pads. If it's super wet, we'll go to a compound that works a lot better and heats up a lot faster in the wet. And that's about it. Some warmer gloves and jackets.
I'm Woody, I'm Jackson Goldstone's mechanic. We're back here, brand new build on the bike, but then it's the same model of bike that we've ridden for a couple of years now. So he's got quite a comfortable base setup as far as chainstay chips, flip chips for the shock, that sort of thing. He's pretty settled on mid in the headset, long on the chainstay, low for the angles and the flip chip in the shock. And then the big change this year is there's a lot of new suspension from Fox. So there's obviously the new rear shock from Fox, and then we've got a few other little bits and pieces that we're playing around with as well. So he's going to have a couple of different Fox shock tunes that we might go between this week. He's got a lighter tune and a firmer tune just to see what we think. I'm imagining he'll probably be on the firmer tune unless this rain does really, really carry on, and then it becomes a bit of a slip and slide fighting for grip fest. But we're going to start on the firmer setup. And then yeah, just kind of figure it all out really. Obviously Jackson had a whole year off after his injury last year, and then we were at Hardline and did a little bit to set up, but yeah, it's more the track at Hardline than fine tuning the bike setup, just making sure nothing falls off. So yeah, should be interesting to get going and see where he's at, and then take the Fox testing and see how that applies to the racetrack.
Bill, so when we're talking about suspension setup, it's obviously a custom setup that Jackson has. So
Yeah.
when you're talking about clicks from open or clicks from close, that doesn't really apply to anyone at home, right?
Not really, it's really hard because, I mean, essentially as you change the shock or fork tune, you just move the sort of window that those clicks apply. So, you know, if you had somebody who was needing to run their compression really closed, you can put them onto a firmer tune and then open the compression clicks up. So then the clicks might be wildly different, but the result would be very similar, you know? So yeah, I mean, everyone throughout the team's running bits different in the shock tunes, especially. Like Fox were really good this year in the Fox testing, and they went through several levels of different tune on compression, rebound and bleed as well. So it's really quite a lot more in depth than we've ever had before as far as customization on the tunes for sure.
So when you come to a track like this that hasn't been ridden in a year, plus you throw cold weather, rain, track changing conditions, how do you deal with setup?
I mean, you got to use the data you've got from previous. You know, you all off season you're building that average of data, and then even though it is new architecture, I've got a lot of experience with Jackson from previously, so you already have a good, you know, if you've been working with your rider for a while, you've got that relationship of knowing what they tend to like and not like. And I mean, just trying to be prepared for everything, you know. We're doing a lot of wheel prep yesterday, and today it'll be every tyre combo that we can possibly get on the wheels ready to go. And then, yeah, just play it by every run, you know. You never want to make too dramatic changes, and I don't find we ever do, because, again, you've done so much pre-season testing that you tend to fall into quite a channel of settings. And then it depends on riders. I mean, Jackson's one of these people who he very much prefers a stable, repeatable setup. Like, he likes the setup to stay very similar, and he adapts how he rides the track. Whereas some riders prefer to throw the settings out the window and change something in its entirety.
So tell me about tyre pressures and suspension pressures and setup.
Yeah, I mean, tyre pressures, he's always in this window of kind of 23, 24 in the front, and then 26 through 28 in the back. I'm guessing it'll be on the lower side of that this week, because the nature of this track, it's not rocky. You know, it's going to be pretty, I mean, last year anyway, it was pretty soft dirt in a lot of places. And especially after this rain, I think you're going to be fighting for a bit of grip. Fork pressures, what's he actually on now? 75 psi, I'm pretty sure, with 4 volume spaces, if I remember correctly from the last time. Again, that's kind of fluctuated between like 70 to, I think Hardline we went up to high 70s just to give him that a bit more support. And that won't tend to change really depending on the conditions too much. We'll use the compression clickers and rebound clickers more, so the pressure tends to stay pretty stable because they want the ride height to sort of stay reliable.
Loads of jumps, loads of sick corners.
So, first few runs on track today, how's it going for you?
That's not too bad. It's pretty fun. I mean, sun's starting to come out, it's getting a little bit drier. Went from mud tires to dry now, so yeah, it's getting quicker. Definitely rutting up a bit. Like, this stuff is kind of crazy with all the rocks, and like, it's different every lap and it's super unpredictable, so definitely struggling here, but yeah, everything else is good. Feeling a little bit under the weather, but I'm gonna try not to let it slow me down too much, but yeah, just having fun.
So, having not ridden here last year, how are you with bike setup and stuff like that?
Yeah, we changed the bike setup quite a bit coming in this year. Got a bunch of new fork parts and shock parts, obviously, so yeah, definitely feeling pretty good on the bike, but obviously I've got no experience on this track yet, so still trying to catch up, I guess.
The track was actually really good yesterday. I was surprised. The dirt is literally like gravelly, rocky in most sections, and it was pretty ridden in from last year, so there wasn't really any like loamy, slippery stuff. The roots were a bit slick still, but the wind and the sun, when it popped out, it dried the track out really quickly. So yesterday was rolling like a little bit slow in the morning, but then sped right up in the Arvo. But yeah, now it's pissed down rain, so we'll see what today brings. Looks like there's a few puddles out there from what I can see just behind the camera now. So I I think it'll be interesting. Her tyres actually look pretty clean, so that is going to be a hard one to choose. You know, if tyres are clean, normally dries work better than mud. So yeah, just got to have to maybe try and look at some GoPro footage and see what the track actually looks like, and some photos from the boys up on track, and make a deciding factor on tyres before the first practice run this morning. So apart from that, the bike will stay pretty much the same. We'll bring up the speed, but obviously it's a bit wetter and a bit slower, so it should balance itself out a bit. If you, for some reason, don't get through qualifying, then you've technically just got a semi-final again. So yes, it's the last chance to get in, but it's the same as last year with the 2 potential race runs that you could do. But I'm feeling pretty good to obviously get through Q1 and I mean, hopefully win it. That's the goal.
Oh,
How are you feeling?
yeah, okay. A little bit under the weather. It's been cold. I think that first track walk day kind of definitely didn't help for the sickness. So been battling it. Starting to feel a little bit better today. So I'm hoping to potentially find something. But yeah, it's been a struggle of a week for sure. I think we got some stuff to try and bike set up, and hopefully that'll help me out a little bit. And yeah, just gonna have to try and push through and make the finals. Yeah, so practice like started okay. I was kind of like my second and third run, like in the morning practice, I was pretty stoked and actually like having a good time. And then, yeah, time training kind of started to struggle a bit. I don't know if it was the sickness, and my ears kept getting clogged, and that messes with your balance so much. So I'm gonna blame it on that. But yeah, we're gonna make some bike changes and probably do, you know, mud tires and with after all the rain and stuff. So gonna mess around a little bit and try and find some. I mean, tires are kind of the first things you can always go for. We're gonna definitely do some suspension chaining as well. Probably gonna slow the rebound down a little bit just to try and, you know, make everything as settled as possible, and just try and keep the bike under you as much as you can. So yeah, I think we're gonna try and find something. That's all I'm hoping for today. What's Nina saying? Where's she?
Just come back up. It's a lot muddier. Like a bike trip to get cleaned off.
Right. Okay, it's HR3
It's a
then.
lot muddier, yeah.
You'll shaker weight on right away as well.
Yeah? Do you want to try isolate that first and then do the suspension change after, or do you want to run straight with it?
We don't got much time. Let's just fucking do it all.
Yeah.
So what's the change? What's the changes ready for?
I'm going to go slower on the high speed rebound, because I feel like, especially with the track getting wetter, and this was just a suggestion from Geordie as well, he was struggling with this like pingy kind of not tracking straight feeling in the front yesterday. So slow down some rebound. We've got a mass damper which we're going to put on, which is quite a nice kind of put it on, see if it feels better or not. No adjustment with him really. So. And then yeah, HR3s. He finished on dries yesterday as the track was drying up, but then now we've had a lot of rain overnight. We've got the fortune of seeing Nina and the women come through first, and it's a lot wetter and yeah, a lot muddier. So tyres changed, slow rebound in the front, and then yeah, see if the mass damper does anything.
So you're going to put on some high rollers?
Yeah, I've got some prepped already on different wheels. So again, we're lucky that we have like 5 sets of wheels, so we can kind of. Got some cut screamers, got a couple of dryers, got a couple of intermediates, and then that's kind of the 3 tyres he rides. So you can set them up, and then I'll have a spare that I can take to the top with me for qualies as well.
Yeah.
What's the plan for this morning setup? Just tyre change?
Tyre change. We were actually on dries yesterday. It did it's pretty much perfect conditions yesterday, apart from when you had that bit of rain on top. The showers that just kept making it a bit greasy, but nothing was really going to help that. But this morning, it's been so wet overnight, it is softer up there. So going by the girls' bike this morning, there's definitely a bit of dirt to bite into, so we're going to get the Magics on. Not going full Dirty Dan's bike conditions yet, but it might come. We'll see how it goes.
We're looking now up to Jackson Goldstone now. Goldstone making a return to competition after an injury filled year last year into 10th place for Jackson 313.
Conditions are absolutely horrendous.
If
If it doesn't rain, the later you're down the hill, the better.
Here in qualifier number 1. Picks that are usual suspects, contenders of the overall and win for the wins. Dennis Cahoot holding on at 3:20. 9.62, and unfortunately 17th for Reece Wilson.
Honestly, bike's mega. There's I think I said the saying the other day, it's not the sword, it's the samurai, and today is a prime example of that. I thought with this weather it was like one of those survival runs, and I rode my basically don't make a mistake, kind of like Worlds again, and I thought it would be more than enough. Whether everybody else has stepped up their wet weather riding, or maybe in Poland's just not for me, because the same thing happened last year. I felt amazing in practice, same this year. Rode a great race run, smoked. Today, same again. Great race run, thought it would be enough, smoked. So honestly, I'm as confused as everybody else. I've got no idea what happened there. Hey, round one, race one with the team. Hattie's in the final tomorrow and she can win it, so she's got a big support team from us, and yeah, the rest of us need to work harder and be smarter. So yeah, we try again. The great thing about racing, there's always another bike race.
On his big return after a full season off of the World Cup, he's going to be in the 6th place. So a great finale by Jackson.
What the fuck is this shit? What the fuck? Huh?
How stressful was today?
Man, I can't believe I could be sitting in the top of World Cup. Imagine me not making it to the finals, like picturing that. And now I gotta go race. And I was stressing, man. That was crazy. No protection is crazy. And then to have the mix of conditions, and then also to have like 11 World Cup winners go to Q2. Yeah, new formats, definitely no. It's pretty brutal, man. But I can't believe I made it in. I had to fucking give it everything. And yeah, I'm blown. That's me, Max.
Williams also, Coot also, there we are. It is first place for Troy Brosnan. Brosnan wraps it up here and beats Louis Berger by 22 hundredths of a second.
Well, I had a okay run in Q1, but just didn't go fast enough, and like a lot of people went really fast. So that kind of put me into 23rd, I think, and I missed the cut, which made me pretty angry, to be honest. And then yeah, Q2, only 10 go through, so it was like you have to go fast. And it started pissing down rain, so I was pretty nervous. And then when it really started raining, I actually got a bit excited. I obviously do well when it pisses down rain. Yeah, rode a lot more on my toes and a lot lighter, and just followed the river down and won Q2. So yeah, it was all good in the end. But technically I got 21st today, and that's not good enough. So yeah, we're in for tomorrow. Built some confidence in that last run because I still beat a lot of fast dudes, and yeah, we push on for tomorrow. I don't know exactly what the weather's going to do. I think it's going to keep raining, so I guess it's good for me. As much as I blew my legs out one more time doing another race run, I've done a run in the rain and know what to come for tomorrow. So yeah, the track's pretty destroyed, and it's tough. Like, it was, yeah, that run then was rolling a bit faster, but then it was also so destroyed that you couldn't carry speed. So yeah, happy to put in a good run and be in for it tomorrow.
And look at this, he's only 0.8 of a second off the time that has been set by Dom Platt. And once again, he's not going to push it and injure himself again. So Goldstone has come in, and he sits in second in that.
Yeah, I mean, with how this week's gone, I'm stoked to be standing here in one piece, and at least made it to the final for a few points. So yeah, it was a pretty loose run. I definitely was sliding off a bunch of lips and stuff, but in the actual techie stuff where it feels like the track's actually a track, I felt really good. I got no chance on those flat sections of the mud, especially with the sickness. I was struggling to pedal, and I know it sounds like a lot of excuses, but yeah, it's just the way she goes. I mean, I pretty much kept the bike the same from yesterday to today. Conditions definitely got worse. It was snowing at the top, and obviously rain all night, so ruts were worse, puddles were everywhere, and yeah, I got a few little sneaky tricks up my sleeve, but for the wet, but that's all I'm gonna say. I actually didn't touch a single thing since yesterday. I think the only thing my mechanic did was a little bit of a brake bleed, and that's it. Yeah, I may not be fighting for the top spot like I want to be, but I'm stoked to be coming out of here healthy and hungry for Ludenville. So yeah.
Troy is wanting to show that the little glitch he had yesterday in quality 1 was an affair of the. Oh, and he slammed! You called the glitch. It was a huge slam for Troy Brosnan.
Not the result anyone wants. Troy's had a bit of a crash, so I'm yet to speak to him, so I'm not 100% sure of what or how. I was just looking at the timing, so yeah, open wound at the moment, as it were. Yeah, so in terms of bike setup, as the week's gone on, the speed's increased. Although the weather's got worse, the speed has increased from obviously practice one. So compression's gone up a bit. Rebound actually went up a little bit as well, which surprised me, but just to keep the bike balanced really, as the speed increased, we need a bit more support. So that happened. We changed the muds real early in the week, mud tyres, and that never changed. We kept on those. And other than that, no significant changes to the bike, to be honest with you, just lots of cleaning. These things happen, that's racing, you push it. We had the snow at the top, which certainly didn't help. Visibility was super poor. Yeah, pushed a little too hard, so that was that. On to the next one.